Hi, in this video we're going to be looking at how to get user input in Python. So all we need to do is maybe let's say we wanted to collect a name, right? So we're going to say name equals to input, right? So this input right here is actually a function, and this function is what allows us to get the user input, right, from the console or terminal, right? As it is right now, it actually does not give the user rather any information on what to enter, right? So it's actually helpful to provide some description of what we want the user to enter, or rather of what the information we expect from the user to be. So for instance, here we can just say enter name, right? So this is actually helpful because now we're actually telling the user you should enter your name here, and then they will know what to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna collect the name of the user and then print it back to them. Bane, your name is name. Okay, so with this, let's actually see if it works. So if we run this, you can see now it says enter name, and it's easy for me to know what the program requires because now I can just enter my name. All right, and then press enter. As you can see, it echoes my name back. Your name is Fallen. All well and good, right? So let's go back to the code. So you can see now that we can actually collect the input from the user and then store it in a variable and process it however we want. Okay, this is really nice. But what if you wanted to collect the age, or rather the number from a user? A number from the user is collected differently. Okay, so let's say, for example, we wanted to collect the name and the age from the user. All right, so let's just say age and say input, and as you guessed, we'd say input and then let the user know what we expect from them. So I'm just gonna say enter age. All right, and then from the next line I can go ahead and print your name, not your Bane, your name is, and then say name, and then you are age, right, years old. Okay, so here I just need a little bit of something, but before I enter it, before I actually enter this, I'm just gonna go back here. Okay, here if I'm collecting age, I have to be careful when I'm using this input. Okay, why? Because age is actually a number, right? But this function input actually gives back a string. Input returns a string, so I have to be very careful there. So once I get this input right here, I have to further convert it into an integer. So what I can do now is say int and then put bracket, or rather wrap the input in a bracket like this. Now as you can see, what's happening here is that the user is going to enter their age, and then since the input returns a string, I'll then convert the string to integer. Okay, and then I'll convert the string to an integer and store it in the variable age, right? But then now, since age is an integer and the print itself, funny enough, the print actually requires what? It requires a string here. So I'm going to have to convert this back into a string again, funny enough, by saying str and then wrapping age around that. Okay, so that's that. Now I can actually click this and say, the program now says enter name. I enter my name, Fallen, right? And then I enter the age, maybe let's say 20, right? And then as you can see here, your name is Fallen, you are 20 years old. Okay, all well and good. I just forgot to leave a space here in my program. But yeah, this is how you would actually collect input from the user. All right, so I actually should have left some space here for the name. But yes, just remember that input, right, is the one that actually helps you to collect input from the console or terminal, right? And then you can process it however you see fit. Remember that numbers cannot be collected in the same way. For example, if I wanted to add something to the age here, I couldn't add it if I'm returning a string here. So I have to first convert the number into an integer, because an integer can be added, subtracted, multiplied or divided. You see, but you can't divide it if it's in a if it's in a string format, right? Okay, so I hope that this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think, and please like and subscribe.